Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel General Hospital today. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Rick Lansing has always been a guy of secrets, and his present relationship with Ava Jerome is no exception. While their friendship has been increasingly close in recent weeks, Rick's actual objectives have always been murky. He's never been able to truly commit, and with temptation waiting in the shadows, his loyalty to Ava may soon be challenged to its limits. Ava, despite her generally guarded manner, has been lured deeper into Rick's world. Their nights together have turned into something more, something that offers the possibility of a genuine relationship. But not everyone feels that Rick is capable of real dedication. Nina Reeves has made it plain that she does not trust him. She's attempted to convince Ava that Rick just cares about himself, but whether Ava listens remains to be seen. Will Nina's warnings be proven correct? A dangerous attraction. Rick and Ava may have a relationship, but old habits die hard. Rick has a history of pursuing his own goals, no matter who gets harmed in the process. And it appears that history may be repeating itself. The attraction of old love, unresolved feelings, and the solace of familiar arms can swiftly lead him astray. Alexis Davis is a name that keeps coming back into Rick's life. The tension between them has always been severe, and in recent weeks, the boundaries that formerly divided them have begun to erode. Alexis, still devastated from Sam McCall's death and the ongoing disclosures about Cyrus Renaud, has sought solace wherever she can find it. Despite her initial reluctance, she allowed Rick to soothe her, experiencing a moment of vulnerability that neither of them anticipated. That little instant ignited something between them, something exceedingly perilous. A past that will not be buried. Rick and Alexis have had a long and complicated relationship filled with passion, betrayal, and tragedy. But no matter how many times they've walked aside, fate always seems to pull them back together. With Alexis suffering with her bereavement, Rick has positioned himself as a source of solace. At first, it could be nothing more than emotional support, a shoulder to lean on in her darkest hours. However, as they spend more time together, the boundary between friendship and something more may begin to blur. It may begin with a simple talk, a late-night encounter where words fade into whispers, old wounds revive, and old desires reappear. And then, in a moment of weakness, they may succumb to something they both sworn they would never do. The fallout. If Rick and Alexis resume their romance behind Ava's back, the implications will be terrible. Ava is not a lady who forgives lightly, and she will not accept betrayal. Though Rick and Ava's relationship is very fresh, they share an unwritten understanding that does not include lying. If Ava realizes that Rick has returned to Alexis, the impact will be terrible. Ava has spent years learning how to keep herself safe from heartbreak. She has fought too many battles, lost too much, and given up everything to get where she is today. Rick's betrayal would not only outrage her, but it could also lead her to retaliate in unforeseen ways. Alexis versus Ava, a war is brewing. Ava and Alexis have never been close, and if Rick becomes the wedge that drives them apart, things might rapidly become ugly. Ava is not one to sit back and let someone steal her belongings, and if she feels Alexis has taken Rick, she will not hesitate to hit back. But Alexis isn't one to back down either. She has gone through too much heartache and loss to let Ava dictate her choices. If she and Rick are able to reconcile, she will not apologize. The enmity between these two ladies is already burning, but Rick's infidelity has the potential to intensify. Lies will be exposed, secrets will be divulged, and the battle lines will soon be set. Rick's reckoning. Rick has always believed that he can outmaneuver anyone who gets in his way. He's a terrific manipulator, able to take advantage of any circumstance. But this time, he could have underestimated the girls in his life. If Rick believes he can handle both Ava and Alexis without consequences, he is in for a tremendous shock. Ava is a force to be reckoned with, and if she feels betrayed, she will not stop until Rick pays for his betrayal. And Alexis? She may not be vengeful, but she is also not naive. If Rick is only using her, if he is treating her the same way he has treated so many others, she will not hesitate to leave permanently. In the end, Rick may find himself alone, which is exactly what he has been running from his entire life. What happens next? With tensions growing and secrets preparing to spill, Port Charles is poised to be rattled by yet another scandal. Rick's betrayal, Alexis' pain, and Ava's hatred will merge in a whirlwind of desire, deception, and retribution. The only question is, who will win? Lulu confronts BLQ about the baby and threatens to expose her. Joss trains with the WSB, and Sidwell gathers Alexis' fingerprints. Alexis tells Sidwell that Helena murdered her mother, Carly tells Jack that their lifestyles are incompatible, and Jordan tells Gannon that they can only see each other on her terms. Lois and Sunny discuss his new role in Joe's life. She continues to trust him around Gio. Carly comes, shocked to see Lois. They say that they were discussing about family concerns. They talk about Tracy's attempts to prevent Gio from joining the educational trust that Sunny formed. Lois takes off. Carly isn't surprised that he's determined to care for his family. He wonders if Tracy is right about him posing a threat. Carly dismisses this, claiming that Michael called and is making progress in therapy. She assures him that Michael also loves him. Lulu arrives at the Quartermain residence and discovers Dante and BLQ in the entryway. He wonders if everything is okay based on the expression on her face. BLQ asks her to calm Tracy down, but Lulu refuses to help her after what she has done. They are taken aback. Lulu recalls finding that Dante fathered BLQ's child and Carly trying to persuade her to keep this a secret. Lulu warns her that she would have to cope with her Tracy troubles on her own. BLQ storms off. Lulu refuses to cuddle BLQ and tells that he needs to go deal with everything about his father and Gio. When Lulu arrives, BLQ walks to her room to summon Gio, indicating that they are far from done. She barges in and advises she close the door before confronting her for lying to Dante for years. BLQ shouts that she has no more grace to show her. She is taken aback when Lulu confronts her openly about having Dante's baby and not alerting him. BLQ refuses to confirm or deny, so Lulu explains that she viewed Martin's files. She bursts into tears after discovering she had a son. BLQ denies ever seeing the lawyer, and Lulu shows her a photograph of his notes. "I had a baby," BLQ says. She never hugged him or recognized he was a guy. She has never sought for him or spoken to anyone. Lulu suspects Lois did. BLQ feels Lulu received the material illegally and that it has nothing to do with her. BLQ believes she is being hypocritical and regrets her actions. Lulu claims she is not judging Air for her decision, but for her falsehoods. If BLQ doesn't tell Dante the truth, she will. Dante sees his father at home and apologizes for what Tracy said. Sonny thinks he can protect himself. His son admires how Dad aids Gio, but he should have spoken up for him. Sonny feels relieved that he doesn't agree with Tracy. He appreciates everything he has done for his children. They discuss Joe's sentiments about taking his money and how this may damage their relationship. Dante laments how he has no closure after realizing what happened to Sam. Lulu is making everything worse. He reveals that BLQ has been helping him cope with his loss, which is terrible for Lulu. Lois arrives to the Quartermain mansion, eager to confront Tracy. She rushes toward Ned and cries about trust. Ned acknowledges his mother was accurate for once. If she permits Sonny to create trust in Joe's name, he will feel beholden to him. What if one day he feels compelled to do him a favor and finds himself in harm's way? He wonders why she has put blinders on concerning Sunny. What about Geo? Sidwell shows Alexis the dagger he found in the cabinet at Windmere, which startles her. She claims it should be at the bottom of the harbor. He can tell that has some meaning for her. She admits that Helena bequeathed it to her, and it is cursed. It was used to cut her mother's throat. Lucy did not tell him anything about it. He needs a drink. She stares at the dagger. He inquires if she witnessed the murder. She explains how her mother fell for Cassadine and had an affair with him. Helena murdered her in before of her eyes. He's astonished and says it's bad. He is amazed she would share this with a stranger. Looking at and holding the dagger, she reports it continues reappearing as if it is haunting her. She flung it into the harbor. He says she can take it, but she claims it came with the house and hurries away. He takes it up with a napkin and examines it. Jordan is humiliated when Gannon comes at her home with her beauty mask on. He explains that he bumped with her food delivery person and spilled her lunch. He offers to cook for her, but she does not have any food. The doctor claims to have performed miracles in the past. She's amazed he can prepare pasta. He reminds her that they were supposed to pursue whatever this is alone. As she receives her ice cream, he says it's fine if now isn't the perfect time. He's inquisitive about what they can have and wants them to be upfront about it. She thought seeing each other secretly would be sexy, not her in pedicure pads. He offers to bring the sexy, and the two kiss. Jordan misses her pad thai, so this is a welcome surprise. They kiss some more until the subject of Sidwell arises. He wonders if she actually wants to pursue that. She is not going to let it go. If he can't handle it, he can walk. Colette phones Jack as he is on his way to Bobby's to brief him on Joss's progress. When he gets in and takes a table, Carly notices him and recalls his stating there is something going on between them. She sits, and he wonders what has occurred between them. Carly says that their lives are not compatible. She can't take being with someone who defuses explosives and sleeps around. He leaves. Joss is crying in the WSB as she thinks about Dex's death. Vaughn, Bryce Durfee, interrupts and says they need to continue on to the next step. They begin battling, and he comments her being a rich girl, which explains why she is there. When she explains that she is joining the WSB to pursue justice, he adds that if she believes this, she should leave. If she wishes to be idealistic, she can join the Peace Corps. The WSB alters people, and no one is more corrupt than a former idealist. She believes he's being cynical and says she can handle it. He flips her and warns her to never fight fairly. She kicks him in the shins. General Hospital spoilers, Sidwell's Cassadine connection. Why does he have Miko's dagger? General Hospital speculations and rumors claim Jen Sidwell may have a Cassadine connection. Why did he purchase Windmere and Spoon Island? Most importantly, why does he have Miko's Cassadine's dagger, and why is he interested in Alexis Davis? Natalia Ramirez, Sidwell's ex-wife, may provide a hint to Sidwell's Cassadine link, but one that is doubtful. Natalia, who claimed to have grown up and lived in Puerto Rico, where Sonny Corinthos owns an island, may have actually dwelt in Brazil. Years ago, Dimitri Cassadine, a poor Cassadine relative, came to Port Charles and was wooing a woman named Pilar. Could Pilar be Natalia? Dimitri built a commercial alliance with Sean Dunley and the Quartermain family. He lasted long enough to cause mayhem for the Quartermains before vanishing. Dimitri Cassadine stole the Quartermain family blind. Dimitri partnered with Sean to bring down the Quartermains and grab their huge family riches. In a twist of fate, he betrayed Sean, who desperately tried to warn the Quartermaines of Dimitri's sinister intentions. Unfortunately, his warning was too late. Dimitri utilized clever precision to claim the complete Quartermaine wealth before vanishing to Brazil, leaving no trace. Fast forward to the present, and he is contacted with Drew Quartermaine about partnering on the Esplanade project. His interest in Alexis? If Sidwell is Dimitri Cassadine, his interest in Alexis is simple: he wants to recruit the last available Cassadine to his side. If Victor Cassadine were still alive, he might have attempted to identify himself with him. Although he hasn't mentioned Valentine Cassadine, the two have both functioned as mercenaries. If he knew where he was, he could have contacted him. Alexis would be oblivious of Dimitri, who had left Port Charles for Brazil 10 years before she came, and no other live Cassadines are likely to be aware of him. We must also consider that Sidwell has avoided the one Quartermaine who may remember him and the havoc he inflicted, Tracy Quartermaine, in favor of focusing on Drew. Sidwell/Dimitri and Drew Quartermaine have this in common: they both feel and have been abandoned by their patriarchal families. If Sidwell is Dimitri, he may have obtained Miko's dagger after discovering it stashed in the numerous rooms of Windmere. The last time anyone saw it, Julian Jerome held it at Alexis' throat, but Helena Cassadine also threatened her with it. However, since Julian died in 2020 and Helena in 2023, and Victor arrived later with Nicholas Cassadine, the dagger could have returned to Windmere. Dimitri, now known as Jens Sidwell, may have been watching the lives and deeds of various Cassadine family members, including Alexis, during that time. General Hospital spoilers: as Carly grows closer to Jack, who will warn her? General Hospital spoilers indicate Carly Spencer is becoming friendly with WSB Chief Jack Brennan, and someone is going to notice. Will a red flag be raised before she gets too deep? So far, Jack has remained on Carly's good side, but she has no idea what he has been up to with her daughter, Jocelyn Joss Jacks. When Jack set out to ensnare Joss in the arena of espionage games, he looked to be her mother's new love interest, having befriended her and taken her under his wing. Now, he appears to be a manipulative bully. But does this mean Joss will be the one to speak up and save her mother from additional heartbreak? General Hospital spoilers: others have tried. Let's not forget that Carly has already been warned about Jack on countless occasions. Months before, when Jason Morgan was on his way to Somalia with Police Commissioner Anna Devane, he warned Carly to avoid Jack and his weird ways. Instead, she jumped in head first, leaning on him for support. Even Anna tried to alert Carly that the guy was bad news, but she wasn't listening. If she won't listen to her best friend or the town police, who will? According to GH teasers, the call is originating from within the house. Only Joss may be able to persuade her mother to stand up to what is going on here. Joss would never have been at Cyrus Renault's cabin if Jack hadn't misled him and brought him there. Why did he send her on a fact-finding assignment for him? Why did he regard Joss as a possible asset for the WSB agency? As she examines these questions, will she risk everything by telling her mother the truth, including her current professional choice? General Hospital spoilers: a Carson reunion? Could it be that when Carly realizes what her boyfriend has done, and how he targeted Joss with the purpose of railroading her off course and into a career she feels trapped in, she would seek out the one person she knows who will always have her back in a case like this? That man is Sonny Corinthos. While Jason may have Carly's back, he isn't interested in gratifying her craving for revenge. Sonny, on the other hand, will not tolerate Jack's deception, even if Carly was warned and pursued him despite her better judgment. Will Jack's betrayal be the spark for Sonny and Carly's much-anticipated reunion? Brooke Lynn's world explodes. Isaiah opens up to Jordan, Alexis' history comes back to haunt her, Jocelyn's WSB training fails, Ned sides with Tracy over Lois, Carly is surprised to see someone, and Lulu prepares to drop a truth bomb on Brooke Lynn. Since Isaiah arrived in Port Charles, sparks have flown between him and Jordan. I am very interested in seeing what this could be, he says. But is she similarly fascinated as he is? Alexis did not appreciate being summoned to Windmere because the Cassadine house gives her the chills. But things got worse when Sidwell brought a box holding Helena's dagger, which she used to murder her mother. Where did you get those? Alexis wanted to know. What is Sidwell's link to the Cassadine family? Jocelyn's family assumes she is on a school trip, but she is secretly preparing to become a WSB spy. Unfortunately, things do not look to be going particularly well. If you meant any of what you just said, her trainer, Vaughn, screams, "There's the door." But Joss, like her mother, isn't one to give up easy. Ned and Tracy don't typically agree, but this time, Lois finds herself as the third wheel. This time, my mother is right, Ned informs his ex-wife. Is there anything Lois can say or do to change his mind? At Bobby's, Carly draws to a halt as she observes someone sitting at a table. Didn't expect to see you here again, she says. Is Brennan not given up on her? Despite Carly's worries that revealing Brooke Lynn's secret could have unexpected ramifications, Lulu appears anxious to inform Dante that he has a son out there. When she stops by the Quartermain estate, Brooke Lynn casually pleads for aid, which upsets her. I'm not doing you any favors, Lulu adds. Not after what you've done. Can Brooke Lynn stop Lulu from telling Dante everything? Here's why 911 fans are familiar with Joss' new handler on General Hospital. Bryce Durfee's character on GH may grow a touch darker as a spy. But, trust us, he will not go as dark as his 911 character did. The Agent Vaughn period of General Hospital opens with a first glance at Joss' WSB handler. Yes, Carly and Jex's daughter is the latest WSB recruit. Of course, Carly has no idea that Brennan has snatched her daughter from small-town New York anonymity in order to develop her into the next great WSB spy. But first, she requires training. Bryce Durfee's new character, Agent Vaughn, is said to assist her through this bizarre situation. 9/11, we have an emergency. Bryce Durfee is new to GH, although his small screen credentials include Last Man Standing, Faking It, Driven, Man with a Plan, and Yellowstone. He even featured as a male model on an episode of Bold and the Beautiful. But did you know that the Nebraska native participated in 5 episodes of the iconic fireman program 911? Durfee was a part of a high-profile narrative that became one of the show's all-time largest arcs during the show's 5th season, when it aired on Fox rather than ABC. In fact, just a few months ago, Collider labeled Durfee's storyline 911's best plot twist and described how nothing on the program has ever surpassed it. Durfee played EMT Jonah Greenway, who was called in to aid Hen when the squad was short-staffed. Hen struggled to accept Greenway, and her suspicions were eventually verified. The paramedic turned out to be a serial killer with a heroic complex. His goal was to demonstrate that he had power over people's lives. He would poison his victims and then resuscitate them just as they were ready to die. It made him feel like a god, and he relished the attention that came with these heroic saves. However, he was not always able to save them. It turns out that his fascination arose from an interaction he had when he was 13 and stopped a man from dying of a heart attack. Adult Greenway was a sick puppy, and Hen and Chimney worked together to bring him down, but not before Greenway did his magic on Chimney. It was the grand finale to a strong, well-executed, and well-acted narrative, and Durfee immediately became one of 911's most recognized adversaries. Rena Sofer opens up about wanting to semi-retire. Rena Sofer's career began in the late 1980s and has kept her busy for decades. And, while she's now in the midst of a major storyline on General Hospital, as Lois prepares for the secret she's been holding about her daughter's child to be disclosed, she's also making plans to quit show business. Sofer's career began with parts on Another World and Loving before joining the cast of GH as Lois Cerullo in 1993. Her work on the ABC serial earned her a Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actress in 1995. She also played Quinn Fuller on CBS's The Bold and the Beautiful from 2013 to 2022, before returning to GH in 2023. That's not to mention her primetime work, which includes starring roles on Melrose Place, The Chronicle, and Coupling, as well as guest appearances on Seinfeld, Bones, Ghost Whisperer, and 2.5 Men. Sofer remarried her ex-husband, Sanford Bookstaver, last year and told Woman's World that they are still in the honeymoon phase. However, the couple plans to sell their home in Los Angeles and relocate to the East Coast to settle down. When we got divorced, I had no interest in dating, Sofer admitted, so I opened up my life to a variety of activities. We now want to semi-retire. Thus one of my bucket list items is to build a home in which we will never have to leave if we so desire. There will be a large studio downstairs for my woodworking and ceramics, as well as a dog room where we can nurture and keep our animals while still giving them space outside. Of course, the actress still enjoys her job. She recently completed the independent murder mystery film Death on the Brandywine, which stars Walt Wiley from All My Children and T.U.C. Watkins from One Life to Live. And, even after she and her husband have settled on the East Coast in their dream house, Sofer has told her admirers that she will not entirely retire. I would be open to anything and everything, she insisted. Brooke Lynn discovers she has a son, and Sidwell sets Alexis up for a fall. Today on General Hospital, Ned questions Lois about Sonny and Gio, Isaiah and Jordan dispute, and Joss prepares for the WSB. At Sonny's new home, he tells Lois that he has watched Gio grow up and cares enough to stay away from him if it is best for him. Sonny asks Lois whether she trusts him with Gio, and she says she does. Carly arrives, and is surprised to see Lois. Carly mentions that she wanted to check out the new place, and hopes she isn't interrupting. Sonny claims they were merely talking about Gio. Lois and Sonny update Carly about Tracy's reaction to Sonny establishing an educational trust fund for Gio. Lois leaves, and Carly comments that he is making an investment for Gio. Sonny claims the Cerullos are his family and cannot afford Joe's schooling, so he is pleased to help. Tracy, on the other hand, pointed out that individuals get injured as a result of his actions, citing Michael as an example. Carly claims Michael is the other reason she stopped by. She reveals that their son called her and is heading in the correct route. Sonny urges Carly to give him his love the next time they talk. Carly believes Michael will call him, and he also loves him. Lulu confronts Brooke Lynn. Lulu enters inside the front door of the Quartermain estate and sees Brooke Lynn conversing with Dante. Dante asks Lulu whether everything is fine. Brooke Lynn is relieved to see Lulu and says Granny is in tears, and she is one of the few who can calm her down. Lulu claims she isn't doing Brooke Lynn any favors after what she's done. Brooke Lynn asks, "Excuse me?" Dante asks Lulu whether she's all right. Lulu muses about learning about the baby and Carly's counsel. Lulu says she doesn't want to become involved in Brooke Lynn's problems with Tracy. Brooke Lynn storms off, and Dante questions Lulu about it. Lulu says she's had enough of coddling Brooke Lynn like everyone else. Dante is done refereeing her and Brooke Lynn, and he must deal with what transpired between his father, Gio, and Tracy. He takes off. Brooke Lynn returns to her room, and Lulu bangs on the door. Lulu storms in and asks her to close the door because she does not want everyone in the home to hear this dispute. Brooke Lynn wonders what this is about. Lulu yells, "It's about how you've been lying to Dante for years." Brooke Lynn tells Lulu that she is weary of being nice to her for Granny's sake, and that if she has anything to say, she should speak out. Lulu reminds her, "You had Dante's baby and never told him." Brooke Lynn is startled. Dante apologized to Sonny. Dante pays a visit to his father's new home and jokes about having a priest come in to cleanse the property of the Cassadines. Dante wanted to come apologize for Tracy's remarks and say that what he is doing for Gio is generous. He wished he had spoken up for him. Sunny insists that if he agrees with Tracy, he does not have to apologize. Dante disagrees with Tracy, saying he, Jason, and Michael are all fortunate to have him in their life, and he values him. Dante wonders why this Gio thing is troubling him. Sunny does not want Gio to feel obliged to accept his money. Dante proposes he tell Gio he doesn't have to take his money because it won't jeopardize their relationship. Sunny redirects his focus to how Dante is doing. Dante thought finding out what happened to Sam would provide him with closure, but it hasn't. He believes he's having difficulty managing because of Lulu. Ned questions Lois about Gio. Lois returns to the Q mansion in search of Tracy, but Ned says she's gone for a ride. Lois feels Tracy has gone too far and informs him that Tracy tampered with Sunny's pledge of an educational trust fund to Gio. Ned believes that this time, his mother is true. Lois snaps that he's never liked Sunny, but Ned suspects his mother is wondering why she's allowing Gio to become financially dependent on him. He knows she is loyal to Sunny, but what if Gio wants to follow in Sunny's path and repay his debt someday? Ned is also perplexed, as she typically puts guardrails up when Sunny's money is involved, so why is it different when Sunny's money involves Gio? Brooke discovers she has a boy. In Brooklyn's room, she refuses to acknowledge or contradict anything Lulu says. Lulu alleges she saw Martin's paperwork and knows she had a son and gave him up for adoption without telling Dante. Brooklyn yells, "I had a kid?" Lulu thinks she would have purchased this passionate performance if she hadn't seen Martin's notes. She accuses Brooklyn of using Martin to find her son, and she reveals her phone photographs of his notes. Brooklyn confesses he never visited Martin. She explains that she had a kid, gave birth in San Francisco, and didn't know whether it was a girl or a boy. She never held him. She informs Lulu that she has never looked for him or consulted a lawyer. As Lois came in Martin's room, Lulu remarked, "My mother did." Brooklyn wonders how Lulu gained this knowledge. She instantly thinks that Lulu broke into Martin's room and got this material unlawfully. Brooklyn believes this has nothing to do with Lulu. Lulu thinks her baby Rocco has a half-brother. She claims Dante cares about her, and she feels Brooklyn cares about him. How could she have his son and not inform him? Brooklyn tells Lulu that she fell pregnant in high school and made a decision, and everyone backed her. She made a different decision to provide her child a better life because she was not prepared to be a mother. If she had told Dante, she would have lost her freedom of choice. Brooklyn tells her not to judge her for her decision. Lulu insists she is not judging her for her decision, but for her falsehoods. If Brooklyn doesn't tell Dante right now, she will. Sidwell set Alexis up. Alexis questions Sidwell at Windmere about where he found the dagger. He believes it was in a cabinet below. She feels it should be on the bottom of the harbor, so she threw it there. Alexis adds that Helena Cassadine, her stepmother, owned it and used it to cut her mother's neck. Sidwell is astonished and offers her a drink, but she declines, claiming to be sober. He constructs one and asks if she witnessed her mother's murder. He instantly apologizes, adding that his curiosity frequently gets the best of him. Alexis explains Mikos was her father, Kristen was his mistress, and Helena murdered her mother in front of her. Sidwell is apologetic. She adds that he does not appear to be readily shocked. He doubts she would share this with a stranger. She takes up the dagger, claiming it keeps reappearing as if it is haunting her. She says holding it again is dreadful and throws it down. Sidwell asks what she wants him to do with it. He says he can take it if she wants, because Helena left it to her. She tells him that it came with the house and is now his property. Alexis sees herself out, and Sidwell picks up the dagger with a rag to avoid leaving his prints on it. Jordan and Isaiah have supper, and more. Isaiah stops by Jordan's place. She was awaiting a food delivery and squeals as she is clad in a robe, her hair up, and wearing a face mask. He laughs, expressing how fantastic it is to see her not looking lovely for once. She cleans herself up, and he admits he ran into the delivery person who was giving her lunch, and it is now all over the sidewalk. He offers to make amends by preparing something for her, but she only has a few items in the kitchen. Isaiah manages to create pasta with what she has. She is impressed and wonders why he stopped by. Isaiah requests to meet with her, and he believes they must pursue this in secret owing to her public pursuit of Sidwell. He does not want to put her under any hardship, and it is all right if she is not ready. However, he is rather enthusiastic in exploring what this could be like between them, even if it is only in this flat. Jordan admits she thought meeting in secret would be more attractive, but here she is in sweats. He tells her she's gorgeous, but he can go for a run to become sweating if necessary. She can think of more methods to work up a sweat and brings him in for a kiss. After they pull away, Isaiah attempts to persuade Jordan to quit busting Sidwell so they don't have to snoop around. She refuses, and if he does not want to do things her way, he can opt out. Carly puts her foot down. Outside of Bobby's, Jack receives a call from Colette, who informs him on Joss' progress. Carly comes, finds Jack sitting at a table, and recalls their chat on the pier. She approached him, not expecting to see him again. He smiles at her. He wants to know what occurred between them the other night and how they got off course. Carly informs him that she was misleading herself into believing that their lives were compatible. He attempts to encourage her to change her mind, saying he wants a commitment, but she insists on being honest with herself about their differences. Jack urges her to take care of herself and goes. Joss proves herself worthy. At the WSB training facility, Joss recalls saying goodbye to Dex. Her manager, Vaughn, appears and informs her that her break has finished and she would be moving on to the next level. They practice jabs and punches, and Vaughn antagonizes her because she's been awake for 48 hours. He has read her paperwork and is aware that she is a wealthy woman, so why is this happening? Why is she here? Joss states she has observed individuals dying and others using their authority to harm others, hence she wants to balance the scales. He informs her that if she means it, the door is just there, and points to it. Vaughn refers to her as an idealist, which is incorrect in this situation. He says that the WSB alters people, and that no one is more corrupt than someone who earlier had noble goals. She wonders if he believes in anything. He considers himself pragmatic. She informs him that they are not the same, and that she cannot renounce what she believes in. He flips her and says, "Rule number 1, never fight fairly." He asks whether she still believes she has what it takes after pinning her for the second time. He warns her she must pull out all the stops to survive: pull, scratch, bite. She kicks him in the nards, and he falls down. She asks, "Something like that?" He groans, "Yes." On the next General Hospital, Lulu encourages Brooklyn to make things right, while Valenine tells Charlotte it's time to say goodbye. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.